Boy, what a dream.
Andy, are you down to earth?
Yeah, ain't B. You know, these post toasties are real good anywhere.
When a company wants to advertise a product they just manufactured and distributed, they create advertisements. They may produce images, videos, and campaigns, but what they also do is sponsor well-known people to promote the product. Over the years, it is common for companies and brands to use a well-known person in an advertisement so that people will buy it. This has existed for years. But lately, this is shifting. Through the rise of social media, more specifically Instagram and YouTube, we have seen the rise of social media influencers. What is an influencer, you may ask? Well, according to a paper called Influencer Marketing, a social media influencer, or SMI as we will call it from here, is defined as users in social media who have established credibility in a specific industry through their activity in this media. This essentially means that people that have a large following on social media allows them to somehow influence your life in one way or another. Basically, when you follow a person and closely watch their life unfold on social media, it is common for you to see them as a friend. And what is something that you usually do with your friend? You have conversations with them. SMIs engage with their fan base as much as they can and show their life to you. This builds a trust with you, their follower. So you're following someone on YouTube. You follow their life. You know their partner's name, you know their 4 dogs' name, you know their hobbies and their struggles. You like them. Their personality appeals to you. They are someone that you could see yourself being friends with. You follow them on Instagram. You see them wearing a nice coat. I want that coat, you think to yourself. You ask them, where did you get that coat? And they respond, you buy that coat. You now have a coat that you like because an influencer influenced you to buy it. And this is why SMIs are so good at selling things. An influencer can receive between $30,000 to $300,000 per post depending on how many followers or subscribers they have and the rate of their engagement. In March 2019, the SMI industry was worth $4.5 billion, but in 2020, it was projected to be worth $10 billion. That's over double its worth in less than a year. The industry has grown so much that even the slightest bit of favor towards a product could have viewers skeptical and prepared to call out an SMI for being sponsored. It has even come to a point where people use the hashtag not an ad or hashtag not sponsored so that viewers know that this is an unbiased opinion. It all has to do with their credibility. Credibility can be defined as the quality of being trusted and believed in. Influencers must have credibility, so when they do post sponsored content, audiences know that their opinion is legitimate. If an SMI does not have credibility, they've lost all of their power to be an influencer. You, as their viewer, as their follower, as a consumer, can then no longer trust them to help you make decisions on what you're going to buy. Constant disclosure of sponsorships is imperative if the SMI marketing system is to continue and thrive. It will create more trust in consumers and concurrently aid in a higher return for brands. Even though your favorite celebrity may be selling you something, they are typically out of reach unless they too share their lives on social media, which actually is becoming a bigger thing. It is unlikely that you will share a bond with them the same way that you do with an SMI that you like. SMIs have built a trust and use a very classic marketing tactic called word of mouth, but in a way that spreads it to thousands and millions of people. Word of mouth is just telling someone about something. No flashy campaigns or advertisements, just talking. And why not? Brands don't have to do that much. They send the SMI the product and talking points, and the SMI creates an ad for it in the style that they create all of their content in, and that their following is used to. The brand then reviews the content, gives it a green light to be posted, and sends money to the SMI. Sponsored content through SMIs is a great way to target high amounts of specific consumers with differing opinions and tastes to buy the same thing. This is why you see the same product being advertised by different SMIs. This is also why companies sponsor smaller influencers, or micro-influencers they're called. It is a way to target each niche, no matter how big or small. Brands also do campaigns where an influencer's face is put all over a product launch to get their followers to buy the products. There are brand collaborations where a brand will bring out a product that an influencer curated, and then they sell it so the brand will make money directly from the influencer's audience. Theoretically, social media influencers and brands are a perfect concoction for disrupting the retail industry. Influencer marketing disrupts traditional marketing because it goes from a brand trying to sell you something to a friend recommending a product for you to buy. Who are you going to trust more? The target audience for these products on social media is usually millennials. They don't consume traditional media such as newspapers, TVs, and magazines anymore, and are much interested in social media networks. So there had to be something to disrupt the traditional and paid and scripted advertisements. Brands encourage influencers to place the product in the style of the influencer's content, so that it is seamless and consumers feel as if they are just consuming regular content of their favorite influencer talking about something they love, rather than watching a regular old ad. It just brings it back to credibility. For example, in 2019, popular beauty influencer Jaclyn Hill released her own branded lipsticks, which she marketed herself. However, when people started to receive the lipsticks that they ordered, they found hairs and sharp objects in the product, causing a mistrust in Miss Hill and vilifying her character and integrity, which she has since aimed to remedy. However, for many of her followers, a large amount of trust has disappeared. Credibility and trust seems to fall from influencers if they are seen to be overly sponsored. Selling out can be a big reason for influencers to lose their credibility. However, for some, for example Zane and Heath from the Vlog Squad, regularly discuss in a comedic way how they need more brand deals. And in return, their audience actually applauds it and encourages more ads because they are being upfront about how they need money. Trustability comes from honesty. And when an influencer isn't honest, and they lose the trust of their viewers. It just goes to show that if a social media influencer is more upfront about how they are being sponsored and how they need money to survive, viewers are more likely to be supportive of their being sponsored. This brings us to something a bit more serious. Children. Children have become inundated with YouTubers and streamers. SMI marketing does not stop at millennials. It also has become a really big source of revenue when you advertise to children. This can be really dangerous as children are more susceptible than any other viewers of content, and it can be a challenge for parents to monitor all of this content that their children are viewing. Children look up to influencers, whether it be a child just like them or an adult that makes content for children, as they share the same interests and activities, and they seem to be just regular ordinary children like them, or someone that children look up to be like when they're older. And just like with adults, children relate to popular influencers as they create kind of a friendship with them. And it's not like children are never exposed to advertising. The issue here is that with these licensed advertisements, they are regulated and they are appropriate and managed for children by big companies. When an influencer, be it an adult or a child, has a large demographic of children, they must have some regulations put in place so that the SMI only advertises appropriate products for children, and so parents can trust that any content that their child is viewing is safe. An example of this is the popular influencer Jake Paul. His demographic is mainly children. He is constantly pushing his merchandise and any other thing that he could sell to children because brands see that he has a large following and therefore constantly sponsor him. Children are more susceptible than adults. They aren't as aware that they're being sold to. More than adults, they believe that whatever that the influencer they watch is selling them, that they need in order to thrive as a person. So what can we do from here on? Well, number one, brands should have at least a social media manager, if not an entire social media team, to make sure that the proper research is done on these influencers and to make sure that their engagement hasn't been doctored through the use of bots. And that the influencer has credibility and hasn't done anything that goes against what the brand stands for. And vice versa. When an influencer is collaborating with a brand, they must also make sure through thorough research that this brand aligns with their beliefs and that they aren't being told to sell misleading information that could get them in a lot of legal trouble, as well as trouble with their following. When children are involved, the regulations must be even tighter. The ads must be screened and the content should be monitored before it is posted by an agency or a social media manager that has the experience and knowledge when it comes to advertising to children. On YouTube, the SMI must check the box that content is made for kids before uploading. SMIs need to be held accountable and must read all of the FTC regulations, and if they're from Australia, they must read everything that the ACCC has outlined. Without this, it would be irresponsible for an SMI to take a brand deal or a sponsorship, as they are accountable for what they are recommending and what they are selling. Overall, the world of social media influencing, while it is new, it is a big industry, and because it is done through the internet, there needs to be better regulations so that consumers are protected, lies are not being spread, and that children are staying safe with whatever content that they are consuming. Social media influencing is a great example of digital disruption, but it is also very new and must be watched extremely closely so that this industry can continue to thrive and become an excellent marketing strategy for brands and an excellent way to make money for influencers.